King Charles III resurrected a royal tradition by riding on horseback in the first tripping the color of his reign, which commemorates the British monarch's official birthday. Saturday's traditional military parade is unlike any other, with all the pomp and pageantry expected of royal occasions, and it draws massive crowds to central London. Charles's birthday is in November and is usually celebrated in private. He marched alongside 1,500 soldiers, 300 horses, and hundreds of musicians from Buckingham Palace to Horse Guard's parade in St. James' Park for the ceremony, which was watched by members of the royal family. It had not been seen in nearly 40 years. The last time a reigning monarch rode in the procession was in the year 2000. For the occasion, King Charles wore a Welsh Guard uniform with a leek emblem on the collar and a green and white plum on his bearskin. On horseback, he was followed by several royal colonels, including Prince William, who was also dressed in the uniform of the Welsh Guard, the regiment he inherited from his father in December. He rode alongside Princess Anne, Colonel of the Blues and Royals in Gold Stick in Waiting, and Prince Edward, Colonel of the London Guards. A horse-drawn carriage pulled up behind them, carrying the Queen, Catherine, Princess of Wales, and the crowd-pleasing trio of Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. The sovereign's mounted escort of soldiers from the Household Cavalry's Life Guards and Blues escorted the royal party. Kate's choice of attire, a resplendent green ensemble, appeared to allude to her ceremonial role as Colonel of the Irish Guard. Meanwhile, according to the palace, Queen Camilla was dressed in honor of the Grenadier Guards, the regiment she was named colonel of in January. She wore a red silk coat dress with full colonel rank insignia on the epaulets. The dress incorporates key uniform details, such as the grenade fired proper embroidered in gold bullion on the collar, and gold bullion backslashes, it said. The Queen Consort topped off her ensemble with a hat by London milliner Phillips Creasy, which is a nod to the bearskin with the grenade exploding up to a feather plume. In the hours before the parade, well-wishers dressed in fascinators and draped in Union flags gathered early to claim prime positions along the mall outside the royal residence. Thousands of people had gathered in the summer sun by the time the ceremony began. As the royals made their way down the mall to the parade ground, there was a deluge of enthusiastic applause. Many people held their cell phones aloft to photograph family members passing by. The broadcaster and royal watcher Batisha Mamata told CNN that there was a real sense of celebration. The coronation was solemn, there was much medieval pageantry. This is much more military in nature. This is about connecting King Charles with his own history in the Marines, the RAF. He has a strong connection to the military, she explained. The monarch is the head of the British Armed Forces, and would normally lead an army into battle. As the national anthem played, the monarch saluted as Colonel-in-Chief of the Household Division's 7 regiments at Horse Guards. He was then given the opportunity to go over and approve his army. Queen Camilla stood alongside her husband, as the 1st Battalion Welsh Guards paraded their regimental flag in front of hundreds of guardsmen and officers. Kensington Palace previously described this year's musical program as having a distinctly Welsh theme, with new compositions from the band written especially for the occasion. Following the parade, the royal party followed the same route back to Buckingham Palace. They appeared on the balcony to watch an extended military flypast and greet a sea of royal supporters. Due to inclement weather, a similar display had to be scaled back following the king's coronation last month. Working members of the royal family and their children joined the king on the balcony. The children of William and Kate clearly enjoyed the aerial display, pointing up as the planes flew overhead. According to the Ministry of Defense, approximately 70 aircraft from the Royal Navy, British Army, and Royal Air Force took to the skies from 15 locations across the UK, before converging to fly across the British capital. The spectacular aerial display featured aircraft from the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, the C-130 Hercules on its final ceremonial flight, Typhoon fighter jets, and a display by the famous RAF Red Arrows. We are very proud to be able to showcase our capabilities to our Commander-in-Chief on this historic occasion for His Majesty the King, Air Chief Marshal Richard Knighton, Chief of the Air Staff, said ahead of the event. We have planned an appropriate and fitting tribute for our monarch, which should be a true spectacle for the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. Members of the public applaud as the Royal Air Force aerobatic team performs. The crowd erupted in cheers and applause as smoke plumes of red, white, and blue trailed from the aerobatic team's planes before a final rendition of God Save the King. The King's troop fired a 41-gun salute in nearby Green Park, followed by a 62-gun salute fired at the Tower of London by the Honourable Artillery Company, the City of London's Army Reserves. Sign up for CNN's Royal News, a weekly dispatch that gives you the inside scoop on the royal family, what they are doing in public, and what is going on behind the scenes.